Entire ecosystems are collapsing.
What? It's difficult to put into words.
Well, we're going to try. We're going to try to put it into words, Dex.
We're going to do our best.
I'll tell you one thing that I would like to start off putting into words is you said to me this morning, have you seen that Facebook chart? And I opened it up and I was like, yeah, it's down. And I was a little confused because I had read that it was way down and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking at the chart and you're saying, oh, it's so terrible. I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized this isn't today's candle. Look at the screen for a second. That's today's candle.
Way down there, way down yonder.
Dude, we were looking at the chart and I'm going, are you sure this is the right chart? Did they change their symbol? And then all of a sudden I just moved it a little bit and went, oh. So interesting day for Facebook. We're going to talk about it. But first, we're getting ready. We're going to leave the YouTube, not permanently, but in a few minutes, and head into PulseWave's Paradise, our Discord. Anybody can get access for just $11 a month. Of course, our higher memberships also get that, as well as access to these PulseWave price trigger reports. So head over to pulsewavetrading.com and get in there. We're gonna be in there at our private shows. We post the replay links. You don't have to be there live. We record them, much like we record this, same way. But we post those links for everybody to check out whenever they want. And we've had some amazing content in there recently. So check it out, pulsewavetrading.com. Dex, how are you doing today, man? We're back. We had major technical difficulties this week. Sorry to everybody who was waiting for my main man, but we had some stuff blow up on us, and we've got it fixed. And you sound better than ever, Dex.
Yes, I do. It's good to be back, man. This is not the week that I planned. This is not the way it was supposed to just to go down. Yeah, it was supposed to be. I had a whole plan on what I was going to do, how I was going to do the week, and then all of a sudden, that it came to a halt. I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do, and when I'm not able to do what I want to do, it kind of irritates me. I'll be honest. It really gets me because my plans come to naught. So I'm glad it worked this time.
You get stuck in there.
Yeah, you do.
Too much power.
Too much. So it's good to be back. I got my new equipment, so we can roll now.
You sound good, man. I feel like I'm way louder than you today. Am I coming in super hot, or is that just my headphones?
It could be just your headphones. You sound very clear to me, like you're sitting right next to me.
All right, sounds good. Just want to make sure I'm not overpowering you. Got Tito Torres. What's up, man? My Twitter buddy. Got Silverback Gorillas here. Awesome people. So listen, put in comments if you want us to look at a chart other than this Facebook chart, which, by the way, is bearish. Right? That's my expert opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right on it with that one, man. That is super bearish.
I've learned a lot, Dex, and I'm pretty sure that this guy's bearish right here.
But I gotta say this though. I gotta say this. At some point, probably not tomorrow, but at some point, the market's going to have to back and fill that gap.
Yeah.
So this is a parabolic move. So when you see moves like this, traditionally, you would fade the move. But you got to be careful of catching falling knives. So what I teach the pulse wavers to do is to wait for the system to give you the go-ahead, to let you know when it's okay to counter trend trade. Trend trading is the most important, but there are times when the markets are not trending, and then you have to be able to navigate the sideways market. And so we provide you those tools to be able to do that. So right now, the only thing you should be is short. You should have been short Facebook. And now today, the market just really gave you a blessing. So what you should do, if you've been short, you would tighten up, start popping your way through it on an intraday so that you don't get caught in case it just comes rip roaring back and then you miss out on all those gains.
Mhm.
I mean, having a stock down almost $100
Look
and
at
it's
that.
only a $200 stock,
It's
that's a
insane.
massive gift. You need to take that gift. To be honest, if it was me, I would make sure I book my gains by the closing bell. I would be out of that position.
It's down $84, 26%.
Yeah, that's a parabolic situation. You do not get greedy when you see a parabolic bar like that. You do what you have to do. Okay.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Is it? I mean, we see crazy moves like that in small cryptos and weird forex pairs. And I guess as a crypto guy, seeing something down 26%, I'm almost cryptos has trained me not to think of that as such a big deal, but for Facebook, that's a pretty big deal, isn't it?
Yes.
It's
for Facebook,
earth-shattering kind of stuff.
This is when you would use a lot of old school terminology. Like you would say, okay, so we have severe technical damage on the chart. All right, mad damage has been done to this particular stock. Now, if this was like just a flash crash, let's say the whole market flashed like that, then you could easily go in and fade the trend and on a day trade basis and make a lot of money. But we live in uncertain times now. This is not the market of the 90s. You know, right? It's just not. It's not the market of the 90s or the early 2000s, pre 9/11. This is not the pre 9/11 markets. So it's dangerous to do that. You have to now literally wait for those signals, to take those signals. But that's why it's also very important to take the initial signals. The initial signals of the PulseWave system are the rally and crash alerts. Those are your initial signals. You take those. You're supposed to take all of those, all of them, because what happens is you end up a lot better off than most people, even if you are a long only person, meaning that you only take buy signals. You only buy stocks. You never short stocks. You don't even buy puts. You don't even get long inverse ETFs. You just only buy. Well, in that situation, whenever there's a pullback or a correction, there's nothing for you to do but take profit on your long trades and set in cash on the sidelines into your next buy signal. You just simply sidestep the market and relax. So that is the discipline that we teach you at PulseWave Trading. Yeah, I see that. It says, I see that question. Someone's asking us. They're saying that I mentioned that someone had robbed a bank in Lebanon, and they said, what happened to that story? They have crushed their currency. Is it connected? Well, first of all, there's a lot of news going on at the moment. I'm going to be getting into some of that news once we leave YouTube and go into the Discord. I cannot go into it on YouTube, not because I'm a prick and I'm only doing Discord because I want to punish people. It's because YouTube, with their algorithms, they will shut you down in a minute. They've been deleting people's channels, taking down all their videos. I mean, just it's not worth it. So on YouTube, I stick to the charts. I stick to the charts, and that's it. If you want to, if I'm going to talk news or give you my analysis on things and my opinions or whatever, or I'm going to give you a response to certain news, I'm only going to do it in Discord. I'm not doing it on YouTube, period. Not anymore. Any documentaries that I do in the future, they're going to be on Discord. They're not going to be here because of the way YouTube has been censoring. And now what's happening today with all the social media stocks getting just punished in the market. Facebook is not alone today. All the other ones are getting hurt too. They're on the warpath, and they're not going to stop censoring. I think the censorship is going to become more outrageous as time goes on. So a lot of people have been seeking alternative platforms just to be able to talk about just the news, period. You really can't even do it anymore.
No.
Not on social media. You can't.
It's wild. Even people keep talking about the quote unquote apology video from Rogan. Maybe I missed the last minute and he apologized big time. I don't know, but I watched the first 8 minutes or so, and he was talking about how he hadn't really even done anything. Oh, I know what it was. I lost my train of thought. He was talking about how things that people lost their whole channel for are things that are now known to be true and said by the CDC.
Yes.
So you're in a situation where they don't care. They're just trying to quiet anybody who's not obedient, anybody who hasn't pledged to screw a face diaper to themselves.
Right.
They just think you're one of the unwashed, and they won't have you.
Well, look at it this way: they are punishing one of their own. Have you seen how they've been dragging Whoopi Goldberg?
Oh yeah,
over her comments about the Holocaust,
dude.
She said it wasn't a matter of racism. She said it was a matter of just bad people, bullying
Nazis were
good
racist.
people.
She tried to prove that the Nazis weren't racist; they were just mean.
Well,
the ADL had to change their definition. Do you know that? They had it basically. The story I think is even more fun, Dex. She broke CRT, critical race theory, because the ADL had to change their definition of racism because of what she said. Because their definition supported her, which is ridiculous. Which was basically only white people can be racist was their definition, and they had to change it on their website because.
So what did they change it to? What does it say now?
I don't know. I just know that they took out basically the CRT language about, racism has to be from a position of power, and it basically adds up to it can't be white people against white people or anything like that. It has to be you have to have darker skin to be the victim of racism.
Wow.
I heard my kids taught that. And what they do is they don't say it. They don't use color. They talk about power dynamics. And in their mind, if you're white, you have Superman power dynamics. So you can't be a racist because everything in your life is so easy. With these people, I mean, obviously this is a CCP op on America to destroy us through our education system. But outside of that, it fails to realize that all of us are just pawns in the elites' games. And maybe they've given certain people a little bit of an easier time at different points in history, but it's not middle class this race against middle class that race. It's the elites against the rest of us. They want us all to die. They'll be happy if we kill each other in the meantime. So they'll use whatever words they need. But our incredibly bright audience already knows this. They don't need to hear that from me.
Exactly, because I can tell you, dude, I grew up with plenty of poor, quote unquote, white people. I had a really good friend. And in grade school, and he was Jewish, and they were just as poor as we were. I had a lot of quote unquote Caucasian friends, and we were all living in the hood. We was all poor.
Oh no, that's not how it works, man. I grew up as a white guy. I was able to go to the white guy embassy and get free money whenever I wanted. My dad didn't even have to work.
Wow. Well, see, look, I think that they realize the stupidity that they've been trying to cram down the throats of people. When you put it into practice, their theories collapse, because racism, first of all, is the most dumbest thing in the world, because you would have to be an idiot to actually embrace it. Because truthfully, scientifically, and technically, we're all one nationality. I mean, not one race, and that's the human race. But we're made up of multiple nationalities, so and languages and cultures. And yes, it is, bigotry for one group to go against another group simply because they're of another group. That's bigotry, and bigotry is practiced every day, all over the world. People are selective, because that's really what it means. It means to discriminate. That's the better word. It's not racism, it's discrimination that people have a problem with. But if you even take that at its technical meaning, To discriminate just means to be selective, to be discerning. People do it every day. There's social clubs that discriminate. Nope, this is a club for only short people. If you're taller than 5 feet tall, you can't be a member of this club. It's everywhere. People discriminate everywhere. That's even in the world system, the natural order, the reality. It's about different people and different things, different plants. There's no such thing as equality. That doesn't even exist. It doesn't even exist in nature. Okay, the zebra is not equal with the lion. There's a power dynamic there that the lion is over the zebra, and he is going to prey on the zebra. Why is the lion preying on the zebra? Is it because the lion is a bigot and he hates zebras because they're zebras? That's not true at all. If lions could talk and testify before Congress, they would say something like this to you. Actually, we don't hate zebras. We love all zebras. As a matter of fact, we don't have enough zebras in this world. I wish every one of you would turn into a zebra right now so that I can eat you. I love zebras. Lions love zebras.
Well, how does this analogy work out? Is the white man is the lion?
No. Again, it's not about nationality, quote unquote race. It's about discrimination. It's about one group that is more powerful than the other group, taking advantage of that group. Every person who claims to be a victim of racism, believe it or not, they are also racists or discriminators themselves. We discriminate every day. You choose to wear one shirt over another. You chose to wear one pair of shoes over another. You chose which spouse you were going to marry. You made a decision. You discriminated against every human being on the planet when you married your wife. That means the other 3 billion women on the planet you just discriminated against because you didn't marry them. You chose your wife over them. And was it an equal selection? No, it was not. You discriminated based on whatever criteria you had at the time. So that means you're a discriminator. We all discriminate, even what you decided to eat today. You made a choice. I chose this over that. Is it because the choice you made, because that item that you ate was better than another item? Not necessarily. It's just because you chose, just because you chose. People choose every day. Now, does it make it right or wrong? It depends on the situation. For them to say, well, the white man has all the power. First of all, there's no such thing as a white man. You need to break things down by who they are. When you say, oh, he's Caucasian. Okay, but Caucasian is not a nationality.
You think the Royals care about me because I'm white?
Exactly. It has nothing to do with it.
They throw me in the big hole with everybody else as soon as they get a chance.
It has nothing to do with it. Dude, do you know there are lighter skinned complected people and darker skinned complected people in every nationality on every continent of the planet? There are darker Caucasian people, lighter Caucasian people. There are darker dark-skinned people and lighter dark-skinned people. As a matter of fact, there is a tribe of Africans in West Africa, that were called the white man. And not because they were Caucasian, but because they were albino.
Oh, wow.
So people don't know that, though. They have no idea.
There's a town in India where I think some speculator, they claim that they're the descendants of Alexander. And they don't look like what you would think of as a typical Indian person. It's very interesting. They look more like your typical Caucasians.
Right.
A little darker. Very interesting, though. I was watching this, I don't know what it was, documentary about them or something. And they're extreme. It's a small community of people in this weird hill country somewhere in India, and they're really arrogant about it. They consider themselves better than outsiders, and it's a big thing with them. It's really funny.
Wow. Yeah, but see, again, it comes from knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So just because you're a lighter complected person, it does not mean, that you understand who made up white and black.
Mm.
That is not a nationality. Show me the country of black. You can't. Show me the country of white. You can't. So not all Caucasian people are from the same nationality. Not all darker skinned people are from the same nationality. There are different shades in every nationality. So it's ridiculous for people to still be having these conversations in 2022. We still got to talk about this. This is ridiculous. You judge a person by the content of their character, not the shade of skin they have. How juvenile and ridiculous.
Yep.
I mean,
Well,
it's comical.
This may be like a Whoopi Goldberg moment for me, but growing up as a white kid, and I'm talking 30, 40 years ago, like when the grandparents were still around, you could totally accuse them of being racist. Okay. The things that they used to say, and I don't know, Dex, how your grandparents were, but mine were rough around the edges, right? But were they actually racist? I didn't see it. Not in real life, not when they actually met people. It was all how they reacted to the news, how they reacted to culture wars, how they reacted to just people who were different. When it came down to it, when they were dealing with another human being, did they care about skin? Not at all. They used to feel quite wonderful when they would connect with somebody of another race, because all of us hate living in this fake nonsense at war with each other world where people tell us that we've got a problem with each other just because. Nobody likes that. People are relieved when they break those walls down.
It comes from education and lack thereof. Just like
Indeed.
People don't know that poor people in the UK back in the day were called blacks.
Really?
Yeah, same thing in Russia. Blacks.
That's interesting. Why?
Because they were poor. Had nothing to do with the color of their skin.
Wow.
It's a political thing. The term white person, black person is political and divisive on purpose.
Yeah.
That's what it was created for, to bring division. But it is not how you recognize people. Read any book of antiquities. You do not see them saying, so-and-so the black man or so-and-so the white man. That is not how they talk. They'll say, yes, and, this king, the Turkish king did this to the Assyrian king, vice versa. Yeah. You don't hear them talking
and they were often
people
related
by
to
their skin. They talk to them about their nation or their tribe that they're from.
Yep.
That's how they described and talked about each other. Oh, those are the Hebrews. Oh, those are the Egyptians. Oh, those are the Greeks. You know how them Greeks are. That's how they described each other, not by the complexion of their skin. That has never been a thing, and it's funny that Whoopi Goldberg got in trouble for it because she's one of their own.
Yeah.
And I understand
it worked real hard to get in trouble.
I understand the spirit of what she was trying to say. And I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna clean it up for her so everyone understands. This is what Whoopi was trying to say. Okay, she was trying to say that the whole Hitler thing, it had nothing to do with race. She was saying basically it was a matter of sin. Hitler was a eugenicist. He thought that the German race / nationality was superior to all other nationalities. All right. That's what he thought. That's what he believed with his whole heart. Okay. He believed that. All right. It was about nationality. It wasn't about the skin complexions. Okay. It wasn't about that at all for him. It was about his people being on top. That's why he tried to take over the entire world. If it was about racism, if he just thought all Caucasian people were equal, then he would have teamed up with all the other European countries and said, let's take over from everyone else. But no, he didn't like any other nationalities except for his own, which was German. And really, there's debate about that. They say really he was Austrian, not German, but even still, he believed what he believed. Doesn't mean that it was right. It just he believed what he believed. And it's just like Archie Bunker, he believed what he believed. And a lot of that stuff, let's be honest, it's taught. It's taught. It's not something you're born with. When you see children on the playground, they're playing with each other. They don't care what each other looks like. They'll see the differences. Oh, look, hey, you're missing a tooth. Oh, well, okay, let's play kickball. Hey, you have red hair. Okay, well, let's play jump rope.
Yep.
That's it. They notice the differences with each other. Hey, you talk different. Okay, let's play. They don't care about that stuff. Adults care about that stuff. So when you see a little 5-year-old, on the jungle gyms, and he's talking all types of racial stuff, he got that from home.
Mm-hmm.
You're not born a racist. You don't know anything about nationality except for what you're told and taught and what you see in your environment when you're home. That's where all that stuff comes from, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I experienced it myself. To be honest with you, as far as the racism, I don't even like the word because it's ridiculous, but I did not really experience overt racism in my life at all. Wow. Until I moved to Virginia.
Really?
Not South Virginia. Not Central or Southern Virginia. No, I'm talking about Northern Virginia, right inside the Beltway, the Capital Beltway, 495.
Wow.
DC, Maryland line. That's what I'm talking about.
Really?
Yes, I sure enough did, man. I did, because it was one of the wealthiest places in the country. All right, I think a shack cost about $800,000.
Jeez.
Yeah, those were the little row townhouses. Okay. Everybody was snooty. People was driving around in Bentleys and Lamborghinis and thumbing their nose up at everyone who didn't have that. Wow. And I remember coming out of Papa John's. It was Friday. I just got a pizza for the family.
Yeah, man.
Coming home, and a guy comes out the door while I'm coming out the door with my pizza in my hand, and he's coming in, and he says, "Man, you guys are making a lot of pizzas tonight. You sure are. I guess y'all making a lot of money tonight." And I looked at him. I was like, "I don't work here," and he just had a dumb look on his face. And what? Because I came out carrying. So the only way a person of color can come out of a pizza place holding a pizza is because he's about to deliver it to someone else. So yeah, and that was just the first time I dealt with it. That wasn't the only time. Yeah. So just to let y'all know, I mean, ignorance is alive and well, and it's never going to change. Right. There's always going to be ignorance. Right now, we're dealing with apocalyptic ignorance. If you take a look at what's happening with your White House, with your president you voted for, these guys are not going to be satisfied until they kick off World War III. And I still believe it in my bones that something big is about to go down. Something's about to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't feel good about it. I can't explain it. I just feel that things are about to pop off. They're starving people in Lebanon right now. They're doing everything in their power to discombobulate the Middle East. It's not funny what they're doing, and they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
All right. So you got the people in Lebanon struggling. You got all these Middle Eastern countries struggling. And here's the messed up part. This has been a power grab, a mad push to bring the central bank into countries that don't already have one. And the last holdouts is, that African space, that African continent, the Northeast Africa, what they call the Middle East. But if you ask any one of them, they'll tell you there's no such thing as the Middle East. This is Africa. So what they're doing to the Palestinians and the Lebanese, all the people over there, what they're doing is absolutely horrific. And I think that everyone involved should be brought up on war crimes. I mean, not only are you, taking over people's land, stealing people's land, kicking people out of their homes, land that they've had for generations. Then you're embargoing people, and you're taking, you're making sure no food and services get to people. I mean, this is just some really absurd stuff that's happening. Did you know that the Dubai Expo 2020 practices modern slavery and exploits their migrant workers?
The which? What
That's
did you
right.
say?
This is according to Equidem.org, a
Mhm.
human rights group that had investigated expo workers' maltreatment during the epidemic. They tweeted that workers like security guards and bar staff and cleaners reported paying illegal recruitment fees and have had their passports confiscated and salaries withheld. This is being done on purpose.
Insane.
The same time this news breaks, guess what other news broke? They finally made it possible. They finally have done away with the UAE and their tax-free friendly status. The United States with their central bank has finally wiggled their way over there, and now they're imposing a 9% corporate tax.
Wow.
A place that never had a corporate tax ever now has a 9% corporate tax because they were forced into doing it. And it doesn't stop there. It gets even better, ladies and gentlemen. Did you know that? Did you know that the Saudi crimes in Yemen are all sponsored by the West? That's right. From 2015 to 2019, the U.S. supplied 73% of the arms and weaponry to Saudi Arabia, making it the largest supplier to Saudi Arabia. The sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia accounted for 25% of the total arms sales of the U.S.
Wow.
And in 2018, the U.S. sold $55.6 billion of arms, registering a 33% growth compared to its previous year.
It's almost as much as we left for them for free in Afghanistan.
It gets better because they're not alone. They're not alone. The UK, the published value of the UK arms export to Saudi Arabia, led the coalition since the beginning of the war, is around $9.2 billion. The CAAT estimates that the real value is over $26 billion. Now, between January 2015 and December 2019, the British government approved 385 licenses for the sale of arms to Saudi Arabia. So you can't get Brexit done, but you can manage to generate $26 billion in arms sales to Saudi Arabia. Oh, and they're not alone either. You know, France has sold $1.5 billion worth of arms to Saudi Arabia in 2019. So what is this about, you know, the economy being so wrecked and in shambles when you're making billions of dollars selling arms? So I guess you have no manufacturing and production base. You might as well just sell weapons. Now, if you and I start selling weapons out of the trunk of our car, we will be arrested because ATF will come down on us real hard. But when you see the weapon sales to Saudi Arabia rose by 50% in 2018 alone in France, despite the government calling for an end of the war on Yemen. But they're not alone. Here comes Canada. They sent close to $2.9 billion worth of military hardware to Saudi Arabia in 2020. This is during the pandemic, ladies and gentlemen. $2.9 billion generated in income for Canada during the pandemic. I guess that's how they propped up all those large corporations that went along for the ride and did what the government told them to do and shut down. This is how they backstopped them. Now, such exports included light armed vehicles, 31 large caliber artillery systems, and then 152 heavy machine guns. See, this is what happens when you play ball with the West. When you do what they tell you to do, they will bankroll you and hook you up with weapons. Now, it should be noted, ladies and gentlemen, in 2019, going into 2020, you know something else huge happened around that time, right? We had the Saudi Aramco deal. the largest oil company IPO period in history. All right. That never happened. They basically strong-armed Saudi Arabia to give them the rights to the oil in their land. So now they don't even own the oil on their land anymore. What happened was the West pushed them to the brink of bankruptcy, if you guys remember that. Saudi Arabia was on the brink of bankruptcy. Remember how they took the crude oil price all the way down to negative $100 a barrel?
What?
Now, right after that, what did you hear after that? Oh, the Saudi Aramco deal. Oh, man, wow. Oh, largest IPO in history. Oh, wee. Just like that. And anyone who knows anything about corporations, you may be the CEO of the corporation. You may be the founder of the corporation. But once it goes public, you no longer own the corporation. The shareholders do. And you can actually be fired and voted out of your own company. All right. So they lost their oil because of that. That's how the West does. So then the West says, thank you for playing ball. Now we're going to sell you the weapons and stuff that you say you needed. Now, this Saudi-led aggression on Yemen, backed by Western countries, have killed tens of thousands of innocent civilians, targeting hospitals, prisons, refugee camps, schools, and school buses. Yet Western countries continue to sell their weapons to the Saudi-led coalition of aggression.
Can you imagine if they got involved in our politics and just accidentally blew up schools every once in a while, what we would do? It would be one giant ice skating rink of glass.
And not just that.
We do it to them all the time. Like it's like they're not people, like they're different because they're different.
A school is horrific. That's horrific. But worse is a hospital.
Yeah.
They're bombing hospitals. Hospitals have sick
hellish people.
Women and children and men in there too. You know what I'm saying? So this right here is just mind-boggling that while the pandemic thing is going on, all these arms deals are being done too. Well, the West is selling the arms to Saudi Arabia. This is why Saudi Arabia is so hated by its brothers over there. The other Muslim countries do not like Saudi Arabia. As far as they're concerned, Saudi Arabia is the United States. So for those who don't know that, that's a problem, and it does exist right now. Now, look, while the Western countries are making billions of dollars selling weapons, almost half of the U.S. millennials are financially miserable. Totally. Almost 50% of them say that their financial well-being does not exist.
There's I see this meme all the time, and it's two little cartoons. One is my parents when they were 30, and it's, hey, let's buy this house and this car, and it's me when I'm 30, and it's, can I afford to go to Starbucks, this kind of thing,
Right.
And it's true. I mean, I saw that with my generation as well, and now it's so much worse for the millennials.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's some dark stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And the hits keep on coming. Now that I got my gear back, I'll be able to start uploading a lot more material. And I have a lot that I'm going to be covering. But yeah, it's
for PulseWave.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready.
Excellent. Get ready. Speaking of, we should head into the Discord. I did want to mention two things. Maybe you can comment on this in the Discord, though. I won't be there for the whole thing. We've got, it seems that the last few days been hearing more and more about Biden and China, that's coming out. You have this New York Times is suing the White House for some kind of information related to Hunter and his business dealings. And a guy is releasing a book. I don't know his name, but he details that there really isn't any question whether or not the Biden family has been compromised by China. And it's in his book. It's in black and white. And I saw him on Tim Pool's show the other day saying, he said with the dossier, they knew it was fake within a few months. You just look at it and you could see it's fake. He said the information they have on the Biden family in China is unbelievable. You have them hanging out with people whose job it was. One of the connections he made, he said one of the business partners, his job was to recruit intelligence operatives at high levels in other countries. That's literally his position in the government. And he's involved in the Biden deal.
Wow.
Millions of dollars. I think the Biden family made $30 million on the deal. Then the other Dex, which is even more I'd like to hear, is the Bank of Europe raised the interest rates by 25 basis points.
I heard that they didn't do anything, but they claimed that they were going to do it if necessary.
Oh, they didn't do it?
Maybe I heard it wrong, but I don't think they did anything. I think they copied the U.S. and did nothing.
Oh, I might be wrong then, but we could check it out before we go into Discord. We'll clear it up in the Discord. All right, we're heading over there, folks. Head over to PulseWaveTrading.com. All of this great content Dex is talking about. Dex has always put this stuff out for free, but the world has changed. We need to put these stuff in our own private little world that we built for ourselves at PulseWaveTrading.com. So head over there, get access. We've got more great stuff coming soon. This story in the comments, I want to put this up by Golden Burks if people want to pause and just read. It's heartbreaking, the things that these people go through. It really is like there are different levels of humanity in the way we claim to value people. It's unbelievable. All right, folks, thanks for watching. Dex, some great stuff, man. I'm glad we got your system fixed and we can hear from you again because it's great stuff. So head over to the Discord. Part 2 is happening momentarily. We'll be there in about 5 minutes. Take care, folks.
On the way.
You gotta send your piece, man.
Oh yeah, peace.